Welcome to the Grow Rich podcast by Tech Help Canada, where we share the best online marketing and general business tips. Now for today's host.
Note, this includes AI-generated narration. Most AI model launches follow the same script: smarter, faster, better on benchmarks. That framing is starting to wear thin. What businesses actually want to know is simpler. Can this model do useful work for longer stretches without constant checking, steering, or cleanup afterward? That's what makes Claude Opus 4.7 worth paying attention to. Anthropic isn't just pitching a stronger model. It's pitching one that can handle harder software engineering work, stick with longer multi-step tasks, follow instructions more carefully, and verify its own work before reporting back. The company also says Opus 4.7 has substantially better vision, including higher resolution image understanding, and produces better interfaces, slides, and documents. But the more interesting signal is where the competition is going. Frontier AI companies aren't only selling raw capability anymore. They're increasingly selling reliability, autonomy, and more usable performance in real workflows. What Anthropic actually released. Anthropic says Claude Opus 4.7 is now generally available and improves on Opus 4.6 in advanced software engineering, especially on harder tasks. The pitch is that users can hand off tougher coding work with more confidence because the model handles complex, long-running jobs with more rigor and consistency. This isn't being sold as a casual chatbot improvement. It's being positioned as a model for serious work, the kind that used to fall apart once tasks got long, messy, or technical. Anthropic also says Opus 4.7 follows instructions more precisely and devises ways to verify its own outputs before reporting back. If that holds up in real use, it's a meaningful shift. A lot of AI frustration doesn't come from models being obviously useless. It comes from them being useful enough to tempt you into relying on them, then quietly slipping on details that still need a human to catch. The company also highlights stronger high-resolution vision and better output quality for professional tasks like interfaces, slides, and docs, which pushes Opus 4.7 closer to a general-purpose work model rather than a developer-only tool. And there's a practical business detail worth noting. Anthropic kept pricing the same as Opus 4.6 at $5 per million input tokens and $25 per million output tokens. More capability without a price increase makes the value proposition easier to understand. The bigger story is the lower supervision cost. The strongest way to read this launch is through supervision cost, not just what the model costs to run, but how much human attention it burns while doing the work. A model that writes quickly but needs constant course correction can still be expensive. One that produces decent first drafts but falls apart halfway through a long task can be expensive too. Anthropic's release, along with several of the early access reactions it chose to feature, keeps pointing to the same cluster of gains: long-running tasks, tighter instruction following, self-checking behavior, and more reliable execution. That suggests the next phase of the AI race may center less on raw intelligence in the abstract and more on whether a model can stay useful once the work gets annoying, technical, or expensive to supervise. What small businesses and lean teams should notice. For smaller teams, the appeal of AI has never been theoretical brilliance. It's leverage. Can one person get more done? Can a small team move faster without adding headcount right away? And can certain kinds of technical, research, documentation, or production work be pushed further forward before a human needs to step in? If Opus 4.7 is more dependable across long tasks, that could show up well beyond writing prompts in a chat window. Bug investigation that doesn't stall halfway through, internal documentation that holds together on the first pass, slide creation, technical summaries, workflow support, data-heavy reasoning, or agent-style work that used to break once too many moving parts got involved. That doesn't mean businesses should treat AI like a fully autonomous coworker and walk away. We're not there. But the amount of oversight required for certain kinds of work may keep dropping. And when that happens, the value proposition changes. A faster answer is nice. A more dependable answer within a longer workflow is more useful. That distinction is especially relevant for growth-minded teams that don't have time to babysit every tool they adopt. In a small business, a tool earns its keep when it reduces drag in real work. Stronger models are arriving with tighter guardrails. Anthropic says Opus 4.7 is the first model it's using to test safeguards that automatically detect and block requests indicating prohibited or high-risk cybersecurity uses, ahead of any broader Mythos-class release. It's also inviting legitimate security professionals into a cyber verification program for approved work such as red teaming, penetration testing, and vulnerability research. This makes sense given the direction of capability gains, a system that can investigate, reason, recover from errors, and keep going for hours is more valuable for real work, but it also raises the stakes. Anthropic is effectively signaling that broader access now has to be paired with tighter controls, especially around cybersecurity-related use. The next AI race may be about reliability. A lot of AI coverage still treats model launches like hardware launches. More power, better scores, new records. But businesses usually care about something more grounded, whether a model can stay useful further into the job with stronger follow-through, better error recovery, tighter instruction handling, and output that doesn't create extra work downstream. Claude Opus 4.7 looks like a sign that major AI companies understand that shift. The models still need humans, boundaries, and careful evaluation inside real workflows. But the standard is changing. The real dividing line may not be who can produce the flashiest demo, but who can stay useful deeper into the workflow without creating more review work, more risk, or more downstream surprises. This was based on an article from our blog. You can find the full written article on Tech Help Canada, including sources and visuals. If you found this helpful, you can explore more on our website and subscribe or become a member for updates and perks. If you're watching or listening to this on YouTube, Apple Podcast, or another platform, don't forget to like and subscribe to help us keep bringing you valuable content like this.